Hello everybody, welcome back, as ever, to Building Blocks, where we program Minecraft mods live on camera and things heavily go wrong. But today, I actually have some good news, so let's just hop in to a test world, shall we? Because, thanks to the tireless and wonderful work of Flying, whenever her spoons permit, which admittedly is not very often, but, you know, we appreciate it nonetheless. We now, in fact, have a bunch of stuff going on inside of various equipment, which is the first module for Various Oddities 1.16. All of the content in Various Oddities 1.12 is being split into respective modules so that you can play very easily without having to flip configs and whatnot. You just have to say, okay, I want Various Oddities because that's the core mod for all of them, and then I want various equipment, and I want various magic, but we'll leave out various world gen and various dimensions, that sort of thing. So, to that end, we are now actually able to use things such as the Golem Scarab that increases damage by 50% against construct creatures, for instance. And I have also added support for Curio's API, which is essentially... The best way I can describe it is baubles on steroids with a side of cosmetic armor, because with it you can determine all manner of different slots that you want, and you can also control how many of them there are. So, for instance, this mod currently only has items that go in the head and the necklace slots, so we have those there. If I hadn't defined those, though, there'd be nothing here. And also, I could say that there are, say, 4 ring slots, and a periapt slot, and some boot slots, that kind of thing. And we can see that they're rendering on me currently, but I can actually just individually toggle these off because that is a feature of Curio's and is wonderful. I love this so much. And there's pretty much a whole ton of handling just sort of built in from the get-go to make sure that you can do whatever you like. It is wonderful. Heartily endorse Curio's API. Did take me a little bit to get used to. For the main problem I had getting to grips with it is that there's actually no code in here that tells the game that the Golem Scarab, for instance, is a necklace item, or these deer antlers are a head item. That's actually done via the vanilla, like, Minecraft tags part of data packs. Which is very interesting, first because it means you can basically set anything to be anything, secondly it means that you can use a data pack on your server to make deer antlers a necklace item, and sorts. So it's very strange, but love how, like, versatile that is. So, yeah, now we have that. I have also added, as you can see here, a couple of, a few cosmetics. I think there's, like, one more variant on horns that I'm going to be adding. But I have deer antlers, I have... Let's just hop into creative and get into this easily. Let's see here. I have Kirin horns, I have deer antlers, I have ram horns, and I recently added the Court Fey mask as well, which you will recognize, I am sure. And for the most part, these 3 are, as you can tell by the tooltip there, they're Curios. These 2 are helmet items, which means that you can't wear them along with armor, but if you're wearing cosmetic armor, that's not a huge problem, it has to be said. There's a special detail, actually, on these horns, in addition to me being able to combine them like that. Firstly, they're dyeable, as that might tell you. So you can actually have whatever color of horns in whatever style you like, and you can just have no problems with that. But the additional thing is, let's just check here. Keep inventory. Currently set to false. Okay, game mode, survival, and let's see, TP me about, let's say 150 blocks up. Helps if I can type, there we go. Oh dear. But wait. So I've lost my scarab, I've lost my hood, I have lost the mask I was wearing, but you'll notice I still have the horns. It's because Curios actually has a function that returns whether or not a given bauble will drop when you die. So consequently, these horns are glued to my head. I can take them off, I can put them back on. If I take them off, they'll drop out of my inventory, but if they're actually in the slot, they stay there. Very lovely. So if, for instance, you happen to be role-playing as somebody who has horns, your horns are gonna stick around until you take them off. Which is pretty nice, if I do say so myself. Now let me see, almost everything in various equipment right now can be dyed. The only thing that can't is the Goblin Scarab. Which, you know, he's fine, he just hangs out there and wiggles. Just no issues there. Just a standard wiggly scarab friend on your chest. That's probably not uncomfortable in the least bit. Cat ears. I don't currently have plans for ears. I'm just adding horns for the moment, but it's not inconceivable. I do like how the different helmets and whatnot look with these horns. It's really fun. But yeah, I'm probably gonna add a couple more. Oh yes, the Crown of the Archfey is now back and can be dyed and whatnot as well. So hurrah for that. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on with various equipment at this exact moment. And we should be seeing a release of this fairly soon. There's a couple more things that I've got to do with it, but for the most part, various equipment is ready to release. There are crafting recipes, there's lang files, there's a function to the Goblin Scarab. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to be putting holy water inside of various equipment. I'm probably going to be putting holy symbols, so I guess it would make some degree of sense. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not 100% yet. The question is holy water a little too close to magic? Like, do we class that as magic? In which case, should that be in various magics, or is it low grade enough to be inside of various equipment? Alchemy, I've already decided, is going to be inside of various magic. So, I don't know. But anyways, let's hop back to various oddities. Idea of perma-cat ears is lovely. Tail would be cool too, but ears, like, the horns are part of a section of various equipment called props. So it's literally things that you can, like, just use as decoration, essentially. They don't have any effect. They don't have any effects or whatnot. They're just sort of like, they're just cosmetics. But don't know how far that'll go for right now. But anyways, last time, oh yes, I have been back and forth with Mixin, trying to figure things out, because this function gets called quite happily. This one, never, as near as I can tell, despite the fact that it is definitely the right thing, as near as I can tell. If it wasn't, then it would be, like, screaming that it doesn't exist. But I don't know. Been trying to get. I've basically been trying to work on the incorporeal subtype. Where are you? There you are. And the incorporeal subtype, if you've played Origins, it's like being the Phantom. You can walk through walls. There's a fair bit of qualification. You can't walk like through a solid like area. You have to walk through. You have to be on the edge of somewhere you could normally exist, as it were. So you can walk into like the outside of a like if there's a hollow 3x3. Here's an example for you. Then you can walk straight into the middle of it. But if that is instead a solid 3x3, you can't walk to the middle of it. You can only just like trace the outside. That's how incorporeal is meant to work. There's a bunch of other things related to it, but I haven't been able to get abstract block state mixin working to actually alter how things collide with you. So for right now, it is non-functional, but working on it anyways. Let's just tidy down to the things we need today here, shall we? Yeah, I don't know, Mixin seems to be very hit or miss. It's very powerful. I've gotten some very good stuff out of it, but it is very hit or miss. People just talking about their Easter emotes. Their emotes? Oh yeah, speaking of terrible portmanteaus, I am very happily. I finally have like Fox to give today, believe it or not, because I got some new socks. And they're very cute. Some nice, like, thigh-high foxy socks. Hence, fox. I think they don't really go with this outfit, I have to say, but unfortunately I haven't really had much opportunity to go to a store and buy, like, a nice, a nice orange skirt or something. So, bleh, get a deal. Okay, so, my leg is being eaten by a fox. I mean, the fox is also my leg, so... That's an interesting fox you got there. Evidently my leg is the fox. Right. What we managed to accomplish... Oh, actually, is there a couple of things? Yes, there's a couple of things. Okay, so formerly, thanks to Mixin, formerly we had things like constructs and undead not being able to regain their... not being able to regain health by eating food. And to do that, we just limited their food to below the level where it starts to regain... it starts to regenerate health. Now, being able to regenerate is actually an action. Much like breathing air, breathing water, and sleeping and whatnot. And it's just an action that undead and constructs lack. I think most everything else has it. Yeah, there's the standard set a lot here. And what that means is over in the mix-ins, let's have a look. I think it's player entity? Yes, player entity, right here. So, if you are one of those types that does not have that action available to it, then there is a function inside of player entity called should heal, and it generally just checks, are you below your maximum health? And is your health above 0? Here, it now also checks if you're not one of those types. So consequently, if you are one of those types, it doesn't matter what your health is, it ain't going back up. You can be healed, of course, using things like healing potions and the like. You just can't regenerate health naturally, because that is the function that food stats checks before healing you. I really wish that there was a bit more detail, I guess, to the heal function, which I think originates in Entity? Let's find out. No, must be Living Entity. Nope. 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 Show yourself. Set health. There we are. Yeah, I really wish there was more detail to this, because all I have is the entity that's healing and how much. I don't have any idea of what the source of the healing is. So whether it's natural health regen due to food, whether it's a regeneration potion or an instant health potion or anything, I just know that they're healing. And if I had access to that kind of contextual information, then I could have a whole ton of stuff happen when, like, when you get healed by a certain means. As it is, the only way I know was whether or not I did it eventually, which is a bit of a pain. Oh well. Oh yes, this whole chunk here. So, it was pointed out by many people, quite rightly, that currently Fae don't really have any bonuses of any kind. And the reason for that is that most, like, the only, like, bonus that a Fae, the only, like, features of a Fae currently are lower health and more damage if you are being attacked with iron or silver weaponry. That latter part, is meant to reflect a feature called damage reduction in Dungeons & Dragons, which pretty much every Fae has, between about 5 and 10 damage reduction, overcome by mostly cold iron weapons. Obviously we don't have a cold iron currently yet, so that's there. But I guess now I can add that into various equipment, can't I? Hee. So previously you had lower health, and if something was attacking you with an iron sword, you were basically dust. Now it's a little bit reversed. So now, instead of taking more damage from iron and silver, you instead take 4 points less damage from any generic source, unless it's an iron or silver weapon. Which means you still take normal void damage, you still take normal magic damage, you still take normal fire damage, but if it's a generic type weapon, you take 4 points less. Up to a max of, like, whatever the amount is. And that is bypassed by iron and silver weapons, so you take normal damage from those. which better simulates damage reduction. We will probably be having actual damage reduction implemented at a later date, but for right now, this is what we got. Damage reduction does not apply against elemental types and such, it's only against, like, brute force values and such, hence why it doesn't apply to magic or fire. So, that is a new change coming to Fae. I'm sure there's going to be people on my patron server who are going to very much enjoy that, because I think there's a fair few Fae on that server. Weird that. I can't imagine why so many people would be grouped up onto my server to play, like, as a Fae creature. Weird. Speaking of the patron server, actually, you will notice that in the preamble to this stream, there was no donation total on the screen of any kind. And that is because all of the people pledging to my Patreon over the past month or so, especially with the the new version on the server, or of the patron server, as well as Comblog Home, have actually lifted my income sufficiently that I, as near as my accounting shows, don't have to have a donation goal to pay for my meds this month. So thank you all very much for that. That means the world to me. I don't know if it'll be the same next month or the month after, but for this month at least, I don't have to worry about that. So, thank you. I also have an appointment, actually, with the doctors in 2 weeks from now, which might cut the cost down? I don't know. Might skyrocket it for all I know. But we'll see. I feel like the most probable outcome is that everything stays the same, but stationary is kind of like the most logical default. So we'll see what the event handler catches on that particular appointment and see how things go. But so fingers crossed that my costs go down. Wouldn't that be nice? Anyways, today we are finally getting to it. So we have implemented our wargs. We have given them a bounty of AI, we have given them their models, their textures, we have given them a sense of actual full-blown genetics, and what's its name tables, so that you actually have to breed them together into interesting combinations in order to get the things that you want, including wargs, who are a little empty at the moment, it has to be said, but we'll be working on them next. And we've even given the goblins a little bit extra detailing as well, so that the goblins themselves are now frequently utter jerks, but I have actually changed it around a little bit here. We had Entity AI Goblin Warg Hurt, which basically just means occasionally a goblin abuses a warg. There is now actually a value for that inside of goblins, because I've mentioned, I think a few times by this point, that evil races is not only offensive, but also just bad writing. It very, very, very long history. But goblins now have a thing. Now, formerly I made this like a genetic thing, so violent goblins breed and it creates violent children that go on to create more violent children and whatnot. Now it's a little bit more different. So, when a goblin is born, when they first generate, only about 1 in 16 of them is non-violent. But when they are born, their violence is none. They don't do the thing, nor will they ever. And then, whenever a goblin actually hurts a warg, whenever they commit that abuse action, it tells all goblin children within 12 blocks that can see both the warg in question as well as the goblin to be violent. If they are violent by the time that they grow up to be a child, from being a child to being an adult, then that value is hard-coded into them. They will now, they'll now do the thing, they'll always do the thing, unless their data gets modified by another thing anyways. But, as long as they are a child, there is basically about once a minute, they will go back to being non-violent. And what that means is that goblins are if they're natural spawn goblins, they're probably abusive, but if a goblin child then happens to not really, like, frequently enough, I guess, witness warg abuse at the hands of goblins, then they're not gonna be abusive to wargs either. And of course, the more that occurs, the more goblins there are in the camp that aren't abusive to wargs, and hence the less chance there is for goblin children to see wargs being abused, and hence the system perpetuates again. Today in Lang's Cutting Stream, learned abuse in Minecraft. Exactly! I've changed it from being a genetic thing, which has troubling implications, to being something that is actually like a nurtured thing. This is a taught thing. And it might be the case that a lot of goblins abuse wargs, but quite literally, not all goblins. Goblins that come from good, pleasant households will not, most probably. But anyways, you know, you might have noticed there's this big chunk of things here that is keyed out, and this is what we're working on today. Today, we are going to be adding details to the Goblin Warg Tamer. This is the goblin that creates wargs from wolves, and then, like, keeps them like bred, keeps them healed up, occasionally makes them fight for sport. We might tie that as well to the violence, like, queue. We'll see. But, you know, they're the ones responsible for creating the wargs, as well as the wargs and whatnot, that then get unleashed on nearby settlements and whatnot, based on raiding parties and how good your reputation is with them. So that is what we're going to be doing today. And the obvious thing that we're going to start with is taming. So this is the AI task responsible for the creation of wargs entire. So let's see, there. Browse, gold, thank you. Okay. And we are going to need a goblin for this. I guess technically speaking we give it to anything, but we'll go with goblin. So goblins tame wolves in most of the same way that you do. They use bones. The main difference is how they treat their wolves when tamed, which results in them being wargs rather than wolves. Okay, let me bring up a thing. Yes, I know, I just need to reference the old 112 code. Needs more cute foxes in chat. Is this good enough? Okay, this code is still very heavily broken, but rather the workspace is broken than anything else. Okay. So, most of these things should fit quite happily. I just need to remember that some of these functions have changed their variables. Or rather, they've changed their method names. So, update task is now tick. Is there a couple others? Start executing, reset task. I think that's literally it, actually. Wow. Instead of entity wolf, it's now wolf entity. Because Microsoft, apparently. Okay, all of that looks fine. Is there anything else related to the old things? We got a couple of things. Oh, right, yes, I forgot about this part. Okay. In the process of taming, the goblin will entangle the wolf. We don't currently have an entangle effect. So I need to remember that later. Okay. A couple of values up here we need. And we got a predicate. There we go. And mutex bits, in this case, I think... Yeah, relates to moving mostly. Moving and looking, I think. Just fix this up. Tidy that. And that. I really wish they'd kept things the same, but oh well. Look controller, I think is what this has changed to. I think this is get path to entity now. It also requires a speed. Oh, right, yeah. Right, no, it requires a range. That's what it is. Okay. Let's... What's the range check that we use here? 8. Okay, let's say 10 then. Don't know why it does that. Just does. Effect instance. If by some means the wolf has a custom name, we also clone that over to the warg. This needs to be entities.warg.create. There we go. Hand needs to be the main hand. That just needs to be add. That needs to be remove. I think it's add anyways. Add entity. There we are. Okay. I'm mostly just we're pretty much just dealing with old stuff. Okay. That looks good. This is a little bit more tricky because for whatever wisdom, they removed the different components of your location from being public values. So now you have to get and set them. Don't ask me why. They just did. Okay, this I think we don't need anymore. We just go to Entity Warg, because they have a taming effect. I check that. So let's see if not tamed, but is tameable, which is related to how recently they saw a goblin. Although we're probably going to change that to be how like recently they were interacted with by a goblin. Then we need to set their entity state. Because that, I believe, is the thing that actually does the taming particles. Or whatever that is. That, I think, is set sitting. It's not named, but I think that's set sitting. So, the world, set entity state, the warg, that. And then we shouldn't need this anymore, but I'm just going to comment it out for the moment, just in case. And what's the over option? Oh, that turns out the other number. A 6, the same value, the same thing, just a 6. So, target wolf dot... However, the world set state. and it's now free of errors. Hooray! Already making progress. Right. For testing purposes, we are going to need a Warg Tamer Goblin. And I do not remember how their profession was stored. So yeah, input get goblin type, there we are. So get goblin type is put into there. Okay, goblin type equals that. Okay, so it is currently being stored. Good. I don't think anybody actually... Yeah, currently looks like they're just basic. They're just basic goblins. That's fine by me. We're probably going to change that up a bit later on when we actually get their full settlement working. But for now, this is the thing. Warg Tamers do need to interact with a settlement object, known as a Warg Den. Which I don't know if we'll get to today, but it will be an interesting place. Let me see if I can find... I have an old video about how wargs are tamed. Let me see if I can find it. It's gonna be harder to find than I thought. Probably. It's probably one of the older ones, because I put a lot more cinematic effort into my older Bears Oddity Showcase videos. There you are. Okay, found it. I don't know if it'll play, because for whatever reason, it is like pulling teeth to get YouTube to play when I'm streaming. But we'll just get ourselves a Warg Tamer to start with here. Oh yes, if anyone was not here, the family's all grown up. We have Erebus, we have Les Enfants, we have Astoria, and Capuchin. What fun derpy children they are. You can definitely see who got whose genetics. Answer, they all did. Okay. You, sir. Okay. So you need... Let's see, where is your goblin type? Type 0. You need to be type 2, I think it is. Don't you yell at me. Yeah, modify. Type set value 2. I think. Okay. Spawn weight authority, yeah, it should be type 2. 0, 1, 2. And what that will mean is that they're now running the Warg Tamer kind of abilities, which should mean that they'll run this. Now, it is 1 in about 5 seconds when there is a wolf within 8 blocks and they have no attack target. So, we'll get to see what, if anything, goes wrong here. I do need to set the mutex flags here. So we want look and we want move. And that just makes sure nothing else tries to interfere with it while it's doing that. Hey Amy, how you doing? So step 1. Will goblins actually create wargs now? If I plonk that goblin into the pen, there's at least one wolf in there it should use. Okay, so all of the, all of the wargs and whatnot are trying to get to the nearest goblin. Is why they're bounding along the edges here. But there is a wolf. So, TP at E type equals goblin to there? Yeah, there. Okay. Whoop. Forgot there's more than one. Okay. So the orangey one should... Yep, there we go, got taming going. And show me... Okay, we don't have a held item on the goblin tamer, that's a problem. But hey, we have a new warg. Very nice, very nice. Their tail's all messed up, but we have a new warg. Hooray, okay. Good starts. There's definitely some bugs there. Namely that we didn't see the held item that we were looking for. We didn't see them swinging their arm at all, in fact. But, we got most of everything else going, so that's good. What am I coding today? Today we are coding wargs being created and managed by goblins. We should say we're re-implementing that mostly from like rote, because we programmed this already in 1.12. But let me see if this video will play. I don't know that it will. Doesn't like to. Nope, yeah, for whatever reason, it does not like to play. I think that's because of how, I think that's because of how, what's the word? My brain's gone dead. I think that's because of how, like, XSplit messes with stuff when it's making things go. Let me see. Can I find the raw file? Because Lord knows I have it. That looks like it. Okay. From 2018. This particular video. Can you remember 2018? I surely can't. I think I was coding then. Evidently. So we're just gonna have a watch of this, and that will explain basically everything that we're trying to set up today. Whilst in modern times, players are well known for the keeping of wolves as tamed pets, legend has it that they were far from the first to do so. Indeed, it is highly likely that goblins were in fact the first to break the spirit of the noble wolf and breed them into what we refer to as the warg. Significantly larger and more dangerous than their household brethren, the warg possesses a vicious bite capable of felling an unprepared adventurer in only a handful of strikes, and considerably more health than the average player. Whilst they can be rehabilitated, rescued from their goblin masters, and rehomed by kindly and brave individuals, today we will be investigating the deep relationship betwixt warg and goblin. The life of a warg begins on the surface, when a warg tamer encounters a wild wolf. They will approach the wolf and ensnare it, using a mixture of threads and secretions to entangle them, before beginning the taming process. The exact methods used by the goblin here are best left to the imagination. A warg tamer will endeavour to proliferate his stock of loyal companions, breeding them together in a fashion very familiar to most. The wargs will follow any goblin, but pay particular attention to those of higher social stature, as well as attacking any creature presently beset upon by any goblin. However, life amongst goblins is never going to be comfortable, and in addition to being beaten by passing goblins, the warg tamer will occasionally subject his pets to a form of gladiatorial combat. Fortunately for the wargs, he will also tend to their wounds, lest they be useless when following him into battle. And that's that. So that is all of the stated behaviors that we're trying to get implemented today. As I say, I might make the gladiatorial combat aspect related to violence, but everything else I think works okay. The Kevin MacLeod outro music, yeah. Ye oldie. What can I say? Sneaky weasel, like scheming weasel is very apt for me. It me, I'm the weasel. Right. Were they just not swinging their arm because they have an empty item? I wonder. Let's find out. Is empty. If stack is not empty and stack on entity swing, blah, then return else. No, they should swing. They should swing the item. Anyways. Still a good tune? Oh yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I think everything else pretty much works fine. We probably need a better test case, I think. So let's set up a test environment a little bit, shall we? Playing a mobile game the other day and an ad played and that was the music accompanying it. My, how times change. Okay. We're going to be setting up a test environment, and that means that we're going to be, unfortunately, a little bit cruel. So, I apologize in advance, everybody. Because this is going to mean that we're going to need to run, like, commands and whatnot that are not necessarily the most pleasant of things to contemplate. So just warning you ahead of time. Let's see, cheats on, yes please. Yep, might as well. Definitely. Feels like a very appropriate tune. Right. Let's get ourselves some barrier. It should be about the same size. Feels a little off. Yeah, somehow this one's ended up a bit longer. Ugh, I'll be having an asymmetrical testing area. Just wouldn't do. Okay, make sure it's 2 blocks tall so nobody gets out. That's a worrying thing to locate. Interesting. Not entirely certain what's happening there. If there's no settlements, then it shouldn't be... okay. Not working on that today. Again, this is gonna be unkind. Just warning you ahead of time. Actually, that's gonna make a death sound. That's gonna be very unpleasant entirely. That's gonna be unpleasant for me, the murderer. Grand. Okay. We need a goblin, and he needs to be holding an item. So, summon Goblin here. Type 2 is about all that we need to know, but we also want to set the age to -200. Should about work. Okay, Tiny Bab. Swiftly become not so tiny Bab. There you go. You do not have your item though, so what data modify? I think it is. Let's get, because I can never remember what the thing is, anyways. Held items, hand items. There you are. ID Minecraft bone. Count 1. Good. Yep. It's a little wonky on ya, but it'll do. Can I just get like some cyan clay or some cyan concrete, just so I can see where the boundaries of this is. Should probably have marked this out before I coated it, but it's fine. Unfortunately, when you're testing mob interactions that remove the mob that's interacted with, you need a means of well, replacing them, I'm afraid. What is your type? Is he? Type 2. Yeah, you are actually a orc tamer. Okay. So let's just see if our orc tamer actually swings his hand when he does this. Should. Might not. Should definitely remove an 8 blocks, I think. It's like it's 1 in 5 seconds, I think it was. I can't remember exactly, but it should be fairly swift. He's interested, he's just not moving, which suggests the movement is wrong. So let's check what's going on up here. So let's see, moving. Target position is greater than a block, and there's not currently a thing. Then start moving. Get path to entity. So we can just say the navigator try and move. And then, if the navigator still has no path, then we just break out. Say, hey, we completely lost how to get to this wolf. Maybe it went behind a maybe it went behind a bush and we couldn't see it anymore. It's tempting to say that warg tamers should need like potions, like splash potions of slowness, so they have to get like that from like the shaman or something. But long-time viewers will know that one of the first projects I did in building blocks was called Yolk Dwarves, and involved basically every single item a given entity like using having to be sourced from their settlement, and that was a lot of fun at the time, but also hell, so we're not doing that. Come on. There you go, now you're moving. And slowness. No swinging of the item, though, I note. Which is fine, that's just a cosmetic thing for the most part. But, Okay, successful wolfage that time around. Yep. And repeat the test. You gonna manage this? Come on. I believe in you. There you go. There's also no entangled effect, because, again, we don't have that yet. At least everything else works. Okay, alright, I'm gonna take my break, so I'll be back at 1:15. See you all then. And welcome back, everybody. So, before we left off there, we managed to get our goblin to tame a wolf, and in so doing create a warg. And not a whole ton happened just off camera there, but our next goal is proliferation. Meaning once they have 2 wargs, they need to try and breed them, whatever that might ultimately result in. So that is our next behavior to re-implement here. So just go into there. Nope. Hostile. There you are. Entity AI Goblin breed. Healing is also going to be an important one. Fighting we are going to need to implement, but we'll just leave that one to last. Just yeah. Okay, go back to our 112 code. Pretty much everything here I think can stay. This is a fairly involved one, because they actually have to go over to both of the wargs and, like, breed them and tell them to sit and whatnot, so it gets a little bit messy. And let's see... Update task needs to be renamed to Tick. Wolf, Warg, Warg. Correct, yes. Yep. Yes. Yes. Yep. Is creature entity a thickness? While taming, the wolf turns and looks at you because why? In order to do that, I would need to have an AI in the wolf that could identify that it was in the process of being tamed by a goblin. I mean, it'd be easier to have the wolf look at the goblin, honestly. Okay, creature entity is a thing. Good. Path navigate to path navigator. Asking you to save them. But yes, the way it works is goblins turn wolves into wargs. Wargs then have 2 genes inside of them that have to be bred out. And that creates a warg. Get age, is that not a thing? Anymore? That must be a thing, hang on. Get growing age, there you are. So, is alive, is not in love, is not tamed, so hence is goblin territory as it were. Either it doesn't have an attack target or its attack target is dead. Let's mute X flags, we'll get there in a moment. So that goes to bounding box now. Have to entity, I think that is now. Okay, and you also need a range. What's the max range? We'll say 10 then. Okay, set sitting is a whole thing now. Because it's one of those functions that was not actually renamed in the default bindings, so bleh. Gotta make it that instead. Instead of set sitting, we have to call func_2333687_w_. Funk? Yeah, short for function, but oof. So we go to both of the wargs in turn and tell them to sit and whatnot. And I think that's almost done. Okay, so we just need the set in love part, which we should be able to also find in our old code here. So let's see, set in love. Which we have, it just requires a player. Yeah, but in this case it'll be null because it's not a player. Immediately starts singing Funky Town. Not Uptown Funk. Ugh. So dated. Alright, that should be good. So, I'm skipping over a lot of this because we have programmed it before, but if there are 2 wargs of breeding age, as it were, within 8 blocks of a given goblin, then once every 500 over about 25 seconds, the goblin will start trying to breed them, in which case they will move to 1. They will then tell them to sit. Well, they will tell them to sit, and then they will make them in love, and then they'll move over to B, do the same thing. So hopefully all of this works properly. I tell them to sit so that they don't go wandering off everywhere else. And then once they're both ready to breed, sets them both to not be sitting anymore. Just because your sister's boyfriend's favorite film is Shrek has no... Was that movie? Was that song in Shrek? I don't remember that being in Shrek. Watched Shrek the Musical on Netflix the other day. Oh, okay then. Not familiar with that one. It was in Shrek 2. God, it's been so long since I saw that. God, what even happens in Shrek 2? Is that trying to find... That's when he meets Princess Fiona's parents and one of them's from Monty Python, and also he's looking for, like, King Arthur, and it's just... Shrek Forever After was probably my favorites, I think. Because it acknowledged that whilst true love can exist, it's not something that you get just for free. There you go. No, come on. I believe in you, you can do this. Why? Oh, is this the range thing again? I think it's the range thing again. Shrek 2, he meets the parents of... Oh, right, yes. Shrek 3 was the King Arthur plot, which was honestly kind of terrible. Shrek 2 was nice, though. Shrek 2 was nice, but I think Shrek Forever After is my favorite of the lot. Come on! Do the thing! There we go. Okay. Good. Okay. Now we can get to the breeding part. Hopefully. Shrek the Third is the one in which Fiona is pregnant and Shrek looked for her cousin. Right, because he doesn't want to be king, I think. The fact that I remember these is said? Nah. The fact that you remember the contents of some of the most influential movies of the last half century is not sad. It's just been a while for me. Okay, so now no more wolves to breed, to like tame, so now we need to see if they breed. Looked like something positive, but evidently is not working because you're not moving. Okay, we might have the same problem as we did last time then. It with a bat. Trying to remember who voiced the fairy godmother. Oh! God, she's a very famous actress, and I cannot for the life of me remember either. Hang on. Voiced by Jennifer Saunders. Of Ab Fab. Or Absolutely Fabulous, if you're not English. Don't even begin to ask me who like voiced Prince Charming. I have no idea. I know Arthur was voiced by like some boy band guy. Heck if I remember which one, because this was a while ago. Justin Timberlake maybe? I don't know. The bonus video that was a talent show hosted by Yep, I remember Simon Cowell. Yeah. And depending on whom you, like, select to, like, vote for, he will just, like, deny and vote himself. Okay, there's a start. There we go. They didn't sit, I notice. That's a problem. Why didn't they sit? Sitting should be perfectly fine for them. Is it tied perhaps to being tamed? Don't think so. Well, let's find out. Fiona had a poster of Timberlake? Oh, right. Wolf Renderer, no. Cat Wolf, no. Cat team is on same team. Doesn't seem like it is. It doesn't seem like an issue. But yep, I don't know. Okay, let's put in another to-do down here because it works otherwise. There's no question here. There's no inquiry as to whether they're tamed when that's called. And that is the field. I guess it's just because it's not transmitted to the client. That's probably it. Which we can probably fix by just sticking it in the data manager. For right now. Okay, so now we've got the breeding. Yay. I could probably make this a little bit tighter. Currently, it makes both of them stand up when the task ends, whereas they might have been sitting down to begin with, in which case you would be erasing that. I don't know under what circumstances they would be sitting down, but something to contemplate. Okay, next job. We've got taming, we've got breeding, let's get healing in. Let's get a little bit of TLC going for our wargs. Is there any plushie there that can do the job? I mean, there's plenty. You've seen how many I have. Okay, that's fine. Okay, very good. Apt entity, say again, tin. Banner box. Look controller. Which for some reason gives me flashes to the fat controller. Okay, get rid of that. But this obviously needs changing up. So heal amount. How do I get that? Food item cannot be... Okay, interesting. It's literally just food, I think. Okay, cannot cast from item to food. No, that's fine. Wait, I can't? Nope, because it's a separate thing. Okay. Interesting. Okay, what's that cast from? Shark came out in 2001. You feel old? You feel old? How do you think I feel? Okay, what is that? Okay, it's an item with food properties. Okay. Get food then? Okay. Get healing, I guess, would be it. Okay. Doesn't mention what that value is, but I'm going to presume that it is equivalent to get heal amount, formerly. Yeah. Which in the case of Roman flesh should be a value of... I'm not sure because it's not written here. Hunger? Is that? Yeah, hunger. Okay, so a value of 4 health or 2 hearts. So I found out the High School Musical came out in 2006. That was the only film you watched in school if it was raining. It's the closest that Box Fox gets to dobbing, I'm afraid. Okay, so move to heal and then do that stuff. But do we have 3 text flags up here? We don't. I might not have even had those in this whole version. Okay, last bit with this tame effect, which is only called here, so that's helpful. The breeding. Well, actually, no, the taming would be a better choice here. And evidently we've determined that indeed we don't need this anymore, so just need that line. Okay. Gets a lot of stuff out there that we don't need anymore. We keep having issues with this runaround, so let's just rewire that now. Rupert Everett voice charming? You are pulling my leg. Wait, no, hang on. No, I'm pulling my own leg because I'm getting him confused with Rupert Grint. That's where my brain is going, like, weird there. Julie Andrews and John Cleese. Yeah, John Cleese is from Python. Very well-known programmer there. Okay. Now, as we can tell from their tails, these wargs should not be at full health, which means that now our goblin should be trying to go around and heal them. So let's see, what will we see? We should see them moving over to them, and then some like love hearts when they get healed once every... Let's see, what's heal timer set to? 2 seconds. Once every 2 seconds. Okay. Oh, there's some XP, which probably shouldn't be here, but, you know. You would think not having a player would tell it to not give XP, but oh well, it's fine. Where's me that they're all doing stuff and he's just stood there? Like, not even looking at anything. Which would suggest that he's like frozen in place for some reason. I don't see any reason that they would just be stood in place. He's thinking, He should have a wonder. I know he's got a wonder code. Does he have a wonder code? I'm suddenly curious. I'm suddenly curious. I don't remember. Yeah, should have wonder. Just as writ. Look randomly, melee attack, move towards restriction. Does not actually have wonder. Interesting. You just realized I'm wearing a hat today? Oh. Anything else you'd like to realize today? Yeah, this is not looking good for our intrepid goblin friend. Let's check if these guys are actually hurt. Flip, get back here. Let's see, health 8, max health 30, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I don't see a max health here. That's interesting. Yeah, there's no max health in here somehow. Huh. Snowed in the south of England today? It snowed in the north of England today. It hailed yesterday. Okay, that's interesting. Why does our warg not have... Like, should have a max health value. Of 30. We never get snow here? We shouldn't be. It's April. That is interesting. So I'm guessing then that get max health isn't returning the right value necessary for our goblin, because it has to reference that attribute. But if that attribute's not there, I mean, surely if it's not there, it should return a null. Or at least the default value. In which case, you're still significantly low. I'm very confused here. Like, that's why the tail is so low. Hey, could you guys stop? This is why the goblin doesn't have a wander, isn't it? Okay, well, if I chuck, like, one healing potion around... No, it's just not here. That's interesting. The health went up. This is very curious indeed. Okay. Doesn't make sense, this. I didn't think this would be the thing that gives us the most trouble, but here we are. It was quite annoying that it was hailing yesterday, because I actually had to go and get groceries. Which, we don't drive. We don't have a car, even if we wanted to drive anyways. So we had to walk to get our groceries. And we have to, therefore, walk all the way back with our groceries as well. So it was me, alone, in the cold wind and hail. Okay, so obviously not getting to moving to heal warg. Next question. Why do our wargs not... Let's just create a regular warg. Let's manually create a warg here. Find out exactly... Like, do you happen to have a... Do you have a max health value, sir? No, you don't either. That's very interesting. How? Does the goblin? I'm pretty sure the goblin did. Let's have a look. This is very curious indeed. No. Okay, so what's... If that's apparently normal, then what's causing the warg to... Well, what's causing the goblin to, like, falter here? Might be this part, because that part was hacking up for us before. Something in the search predicate, maybe? Get health lower than max health, attack target equals null, is not tamed, at least not by human hands. I'm not being as silly, I have actually put this in, right? Yes. So yeah, there was a lot of spoons drained yesterday from that. Even more drained when I tried to talk to the Forge devs about how to get dependency working so that we could get various equipment going, but... Forge devs are very bothersome to talk to. Okay, where's this faltering then? Let's find out. You should be able to find plenty of injured orcs. And apparently, you did.
Yeah.
Checking work at block position, validated checking work at that, moving to heal work. Don't know how you're checking it both times, but that's fine. 2 wargs evidently present at less than max health, which is correct. That's the 2 that he's tamed. Moving to heal warg and then nothing. What's going on there? Just sort of stationary. Which means doesn't even get to that part because not even looking at them. If the warg is not alive, or the warg, if the warg's health is greater than or equal to its max health. Oh, that's why. One of those little renamed function issues. Because I'm a silly sometimes, apparently. Or rather, Mojang and Microsoft were sillies, and I just had to deal with it. Slowly reaching the point of every time you call, they are like, ah no, it's them again. I have to say, like, my knees are fairly knobbly, so they're like, bleh. But I like the way it looks like these foxes have their ears down. It's kind of cute. Took me an age to realize why I didn't like my legs. I have to say, like that might have been before I started questioning. There you go. Okay. But yeah, I eventually realized that the reason I didn't like my legs was not because I didn't like my legs, so much as I didn't like how hairy my legs were. So then I started, like, waxing and shaving them, and now I'm much happier with my legs. But they are pretty knobbly. Okay, folks have got health now, hooray. And if I'm going to have to do one of those mean things for testing again. So, apologies in advance, everybody, but I remind you that these dogs have now somebody who actually will try to heal them, and also that they, we just got a new member, also that they do have 30 health. There we go. There we go. Diligently going about the care of these wargs. Grand. And we evidently have a non-violent one, because he's not punching anybody. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, violent. None. We have a very pleasant goblin here for taking care of this. Very good, very good. Okay. Now I have to do the mean thing. Again, apparently. Because now gladiatorial combats. Apologies in advance for that, everybody. This also means I'm going to have to alter the mind of this goblin to be violent, but... What is tame effect using here, I wonder? Is that even... It is apparently used. Huh. Set attack targets. Apparently uses the tame particles. Could not tell you why. Doesn't seem to make sense that they would be giving up love hearts for that. What were they doing in the video? Let's have a quick refresh. No, that's breeding. Okay. That's the unhappy ones, the ones where it's, like, failed, so it's bite 7. Okay. So we can't get rid of this entirely, then. Okay. Things not using here. Yep, that's fine. This is an instantaneous one. It does not use a ticker, so we don't need to worry about update task to tick. That's fine. Mutex flags. Let's add those. Make it book only. Okay. So if the goblin has an attack target, doesn't run. If there's less than 2 wargs around, doesn't run. Does not use children. Does not use ones that are sitting or in love in the process of breeding. Or ones engaged in combat already. 1 in 1,000. Let's see, how long is that for us? 1,000 over 20. That is once a minute. When there are 2 adult wargs not within 10 blocks. So that should be good. Pardon me. Okay. Let's see. This does not have the hook for violence in just yet. Very foxy today, aren't I? I've got Box Fox, I've got the Fox jacket over here, I've got Pixel over there, I've got the Fox mug, and of course I have the Fox socks. The Fox thigh highs. I guess these are my programmer socks now. The classic programmer socks. Whoop, there we go. Yep, somebody won that. I think I used the wrong thing though. I think it needs to be 6, not 7. Because that was love hearts, and that probably should not have been love hearts for that. Yeah, 6, not 7. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's do this one. They were happy to engage in gladiatorial combat. Otherwise known as literal dogfighting, but nonetheless. There's literally no other way to describe it. That was dogfighting. And 'tis illegal for a good reason. Okay, so once a minute, as long as there's 2 adults, which we still have, we should see that happening again. It'll still be love hearts, so we just want to make sure it works again. So I guess theoretically, if you want to have like a goblin actually dedicated to making new wargs and whatnot for you, then you should actively try to ensure that goblin children don't observe warg abuse, because it will mean that when they become goblin tamers later on, that they'll do this gladiatorial combat thing, reducing the number of wargs you have. So hey, gameplay mechanical incentive to prevent animal abuse. Isn't that nice? And you don't have a wonder in you, so... What was the range they had to be for that? 8 blocks. So about 4 either direction, I think. So they need to be pretty close. I get a lead. There you go, a bit more central. I wonder if the goblin should make a noise whenever it does that. Whenever it actually, like, tells them to do that. That might be a bit more immersive than just they look and suddenly wargs are fighting. Particularly whilst the arm's not working properly. Oh, I hadn't noticed actually. We've got the warg down here has is that a mutation? Yeah, you've got a short snoot, sir. You have a mutation. Hey! Hooray! Short-snooted warg. Yeah, because no one else has a short snoot. That's a mutation. Hey! Punnett squares at work. Well, not Punnett squares, but nonetheless. But yay, proof of concept. Okay, it is literally one in 1,000 ticks. If they are close enough, so we will continue testing this after my break. And real quick, I'm gonna... Or not, the goblin is violent. There. Now I have to alter his brain when we get back in, but it's fine. It's fine. And I actually want to make sure... How about add another wolf or grow one of the others? I think it's fine. We just need to actually like wait long enough, more or less, or reduce the size of our pen, I guess, because it's 9 by 9. We could also probably do with actually giving our warg tamer a wonder, which is another thing that they could maybe do with. I was fairly certain the goblins already had wonders, but apparently not. Well, fine by me. Modify. Water avoid rank. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Is that not used in our goblin controllers then? It is not. Color me surprised. We are going to need the operate room task eventually. Okay, back in 10, everybody. See you at a break. And welcome back, everybody. So just before we left off there, we were testing gladiatorial combat by dogfighting and goblins and orcs. It's not a pleasant thing. It's not meant to be a pleasant thing. But we're trying to fix it up and make sure that it works. So here we go. We've added wandering to all levels of goblinness. So hopefully our particular goblin will encounter these particular two orcs a bit better. And if not, we will populate it with more orcs. Which is fine. This is meant to be a very rare, a very uncommon kind of event. Okay, so now you actually wander. Oh, and they're actually breeding. Never mind. That's not wandering at all. How was that healing? You came over here. I presume you had a plan for what to do when you got over here, but apparently not. Okay. Let's add some more wolves. My stream starts for you at 6 AM, so you didn't notice my hat. Ah! Right. I know you've got a wonder capability, dude. At least I think you do. I'm pretty sure Goblin Tamer AI extends from the right thing. Extends from basic. which does not have that. For I am a fool. A silly man. Also, I forgot that this guy currently also is non-abusive, I guess I'm afraid. Non-violent is certainly not the case. Yeah, I should have plunked that in there. Now it should work. So we will make sure that he's wandering, and then we will make him violent. And we will regret that probably instantaneously, but here we go. Okay, appears to be wandering. Very good. Oh, there we go. Oh lord, it happened twice. Were they... I'm pretty sure wargs don't have a group. I'm pretty sure they're not programmed to work in packs, but I might have forgotten something. Let's have a look. This group, like, they don't have an attack anything, so it should be fine. Oh, do they have like a summon aid part that I forgot? Is that what I'm thinking of? Ah, calls for help. That'd be the problem. So I need to add a caveat into this so that they don't include other wargs. There. That should mean that they don't call for help, which should mean less, ironically, dogpiling. History nod. Hey, good to see you. We are just closing out our stream for the day, but probably tomorrow I will probably have a bonus stream up, so enjoy that. Definitely sometime this week, that's for sure, because I got stuff to do on the Come Black Home server. Also, we all have to really get to work on the Come Black Home server because Nifty keeps growing more powerful by the hour, and it's terrifying. I think people have commented that it seems like Nifty doesn't actually, like, sleep, and I'm not honestly certain either. Okay, now they shouldn't call for attacks when they're attacked by other abstract goblin wolves. So now it's just a matter of waiting to see what happens. I still need to fix the ear texture. Building suitable safety for his dragon boy. Oh, Nifty. I thought you meant the goblin for a hot second there. Two babies are growing up very fast. Yeah, they actually aged up off camera, I heard. But it's just like, Nifty has like 5 different ways of avoiding falling damage. On day, like, 1, Nifty, Nifty managed to kill a stage 5 dragon, and consequently has near endgame equipment very swiftly. Nifty keeps getting access to a whole freaking ton of, like, rare loot. Nifty can scry on people. Nifty can also one-hit more or less anything. Nifty's taken on tier 5 barons. It's like, okay, yes, good. That is behaving as anticipated. Very good. Hurrah for that. You gonna heal him up? You gonna do some healing? No? Okay, fine. Looked like you wanted to there, but I guess you were in the middle of it. Yeah. Okay, let's entity data you back to what you once were. Which I guess counts as pacifying you. Violent set value 0B. There. And now, no matter how many wargs are around, they shouldn't do that. Oh, there you go, healing. Grand and good. Probably need to... No, that was breeding, never mind. I probably need to, alter how healing is done a little bit, just so that they actually keep tabs, like, keep up with them. So, if distance is that, else set to moving. Okay, apparently you do that. Interesting. Weird then that did not seem to be the case. But okay, so our Goblin Warg Tamers now successfully breed, heal, fight, and tame with the wargs. The next thing is, you may have noticed you may have noticed this, like, set, I guess, we'd call it. Is that set up in earlier here? Yeah. Okay. So this was just, like, actually built for the video, but it's intended to actually be a structure you encounter. And the way that we'll be doing that is through an actual Goblin settlement type, with an actual room in it, where Goblin Tamers tend to hang out, and Goblin Wargs tend to hang out as well. So, Wargs and Wargs will live in a different area, but Wargs will hang out there when they're not actively following somebody nearby. So, for that, we need a little bit more detail. We're going to need ourselves a settlement. And evidently there was a bug with settlement that I need to fix up, but it's fine for the moment. It's fine for the moment. So, new settlement Goblin. I think this can extend from... Is it ice settlement? Nope, not that. Yep, there's everything. Definitely is everything. Okay. What do kobolds extend from? They do extend from dummy. Okay. Okay. Need a type name. Goblin. Constructors, and to return that type name. And then we actually need the behavior as well. I don't think... Probably should be a little bit of self-management allowed. Kobolds automatically, already set their... already create hatcheries if there isn't one for them to actually, lay an egg in. Goblins probably want to... if there is no, warg den, they probably want to create a warg den. So let's see, do you want to say a barn is where they keep the wargs, and a stable is where they keep the wargs? That seems plausible to me. That seems the most meaningful thing. Okay. I could probably stick that in there personally, actually, instead of having it be this big hunk of text down here. Oh, but no, that's, yeah. Never mind, I just remember why I did that. Okay. What is the function of our barn? Does our barn need a function? I think the main function it needs is part of construction. Because I could say that when they create ones by themselves, they just spawn a schematic, like from a structure block. That's fine for some things, but I don't know if that's necessarily what I want for them right here. Like, I would kind of prefer them to be like moving blocks around to create this like dent in the ground, that kind of thing. By the way, there are two different kinds of function when it comes to settlement room behaviors. There is function casual, which is called by the settlement object itself, and then there is a function which is called by the creatures that are visiting it via their operate room task. Which essentially means that the room does all the heavy lifting, but the creatures go to the rooms to supervise. It allows us to have some fairly tight and complex behaviors without having to write a different task to go there and do the thing every single time. We just have one AI task and the rooms do the rest. It's lovely. But let's see, for our goblin barn. Ensure construction. Let's list a couple of things that a goblin barn needs. Ensure presence of goblin tamer. And I guess occasionally ask any wargs out and about to come visit. Or occasionally teleport wargs there, I guess, as another option. And then public static final. There we go. So I guess this means, technically speaking, all wargs are born in a barn. Just an interesting little detail there. Okay. So we definitely want in function casual, I'm going to make sure, is there a warg tamer in this barn? If there isn't, we want to ask for one that's currently not busy. For the moment, at least, we'll ignore that we don't have like an actual room structure kind of set up. So check for Goblin Tamer. Your connection was lost for a minute. Oh dear. Are you okay? So let's see for entity Goblin in world in .get entities within the entity Goblin .class the room get bounds. Okay. So we get through that, we found out, oh, there's no warg tamer here. We should actually ask for a warg tamer. So to that end, we want to ask for all of the goblins within like 60 blocks or so. Is there a warg tamer amongst you? That kind of thing. So we probably need a predicate for this. Because we're gonna need to store that value here. We'll plunk it there. So input is alive and is not a child and is a warg tamer. So if world in.get entities within of that, then do all the stuff. Hooray! Request visit by Tamer. Okay. Bounds, grow, we'll say 32. And then if Tamer's is not empty, then we need to find the we just need to find a random one that actually isn't preoccupied, essentially. Which I don't think I have a thing for that anymore. Yeah, I don't think we have a requests anymore, as it were. Let's have a look. No, request visit I don't think exists anymore. Owing to some changes, but oh well. It mostly changes to how the AI system works. So now I have to think of how do I request that this Tamer just come to the place and do the thing. I think I can do that, okay. Tamer gets operate room task dot is busy, then Tamer get operate room task dot request visit to that room for Goblin Barn with that random. Okay, that should work. Tighten it up a little bit because it's generally wise to store things to a value in the event that you are using them more than once. Okay. So there's no Warg Tamer inside, then it should try and find one within 32 blocks. Okay. Okay. Oh, we need to register the settlement. I just realized. Which I think is part of here. It's been a little bit. There we are. Been a hot minute since I worked with this. There we go. Now the system knows that such settlements exist. Goblins don't create them just yet, but here we go. Because let me see. So, if I indeed have the time with the spoons tomorrow to do a bonus stream, I mostly need to work more on making some room on the different levels, as well as getting finer grips and a bit more power into my create setup. Probably gonna do some mining, see if I can find some diamonds, because what self-respecting archfey has no diamonds at the start of a season? Oh, healing up. Good to see. Very happy to see it, sir. Thank you very much. Okay. So, settlement. Add. Goblin. It doesn't really matter where I put you. So we'll just say you exist. Create settlement 0. Okay. Was just thinking of it, and now you have to do it? What? I don't know what you mean there, Esper. Settlement. Room. 0. Add. Which way's which here? Positive, negative. No.
Parent, I got these things. Can I have upgrade?
I'm lost. Are you memeing? Is this a meme that's happening to me? There to... Oh, changeling speaks? Oh! Right, yes. You are referring to when a changeling is offering items to the witch and to increase the size of the hive. I understand now. Okay, as a barn. That should be it. Yep. Okay. But yes, thank you. You may have slight upgrade. A little upgrade, as a treat. Okay, so... I guess now I have to check function casual is working. So if it's empty, or it's that, if that's not empty, if that's empty, then check within a much wider bound and ask for somebody to come by. We're mostly currently just looking for... We're just looking for the goblin to walk into this place, essentially. Changeling Esper may have a little treat. A little upgrade as a treat. Now I kind of want to have them, like, actually say that when I re-implement changelings. Or maybe I just add, like, a special behavior of a changeling walks up to username player lying and asks that. Okay. It is running, it is requesting a thing here, it is just not performing. Okay. Which probably means it hasn't been added in the controller for that particular type of goblin. Yeah, okay. Good. Good. Progress. We know why we know why it's doing the thing instead of the other thing that we want it to be doing. Okay, children don't need that. They'll just need to be down here. Okay. Oh no, it should have the thing. So why is it not doing the thing? Let's see, that's... Calls to this, which does add the thing. Okay. And they do make the thing. Since various oddities is in the CBH pack, you're looking forward to Feyline meeting the VO Witchline. Yeah, that's gonna span some artwork, I'm sure. Artwork and or fanfic, I guess. We'll see. Okay, so why... I guess I have to check the operate room task thing, don't I? Should execute, no attack target, and is busy. Is busy, meaning they've had a visit, they've had a request. To go to a place and do a thing. So, what's going on here? Hands like I kind of right. Does this help with the bugs and go? No, but it can help with the bugs in my kitchen. Literally, I put down a honeypot of them for them like a while ago, and got a whole ton of them out of my bathroom. And I go down to like breakfast today, and they're swarming all over my dishwasher. No idea where they're coming from, so I just sort of left them. There's like 5 of them. Then I go to make lunch, and there's like 50 of them, 30 of them at least, just swarming around my bin. Like, to the point where they've already established a supply chain, which is like the easiest way to find out how they're getting in. So I follow that. It goes to the cupboard under the stairs, where they're coming out of a tiny like chip in the rock directly beneath the floor. We're having so much trouble with these damn ants. Operating room is running. Okay. You're just not moving anywhere. Okay. Why aren't you moving anywhere? Probably because we're doing this thing. Which I guess we need to rewrite a little bit. Does Feilang's tree have a name? The location is called Lost Memory. Yeah, I think that's just the problem. Is it Feilang or Feilang? Technically, they're synonyms. they're just different spellings of the same word. So I guess the answer is yes? This being a programming stream, I guess I do have to say yes. Low expansion foam should plug the hole after spraying the raid down. After spraying the raid down the hole. We've just been filling it with poison. We have a little bit of like raid powdered poison that we've been using. But they just keep finding new ways to get into our kitchen. I don't know, I don't even know where they're getting in at this point. Drown them? I can't pour water under our kitchen floor. It'll rot the wood and it'll be terrible. At this point I'm fairly certain there's just like an ant colony just like underneath our floor. Hey! Grand, it did the thing. Good, good, good. They went to the place. So now we can... Well, firstly, I guess what I can do is remove the sysouts that we had. Yep, that's good. Requesting visit, fine. Okay. On our function, next, I'm trying to think, what do we do? We should ensure the presence of a Goblin Tamer, so, done. Teleport wayward wargs. Teleport wayward wargs, teleport wayward wargs, teleport wayward yeah, tongue twister, what's it? Okay, I think for that, we look for untamed wargs outside of the area of the barn, that are not engaged in combat and aren't sitting. That's our main thing. Sacrifices must be. We're still getting that like kitchen redecorated. I am not giving it flood damage. Cease this input. Okay, so alive, not sitting, not tamed, meaning it's goblin territory. We don't much care about what age it is, but we do need to check if it's engaged in combat. Okay. So, otherwise, we just call function. So essentially we're just asking, is there somebody here to watch me do a thing? If there is, I'll do a thing, otherwise I'll request someone to come and tell me to do the thing. So as long as there is a warg tamer inside of a barn, then the wargs will be teleported there occasionally. Rubbing alcohol. We've got plenty of We've got plenty of things. We just need to do the ceiling. Unfortunately, we don't have the ceiling, so we had to wait for our decorator to get back. But unfortunately, then a pandemic happened. So we were getting our most of our ground floor actually redecorated right as the pandemic happened. So we haven't really had our decorator around for a year. So this is just like a problem that happens when you leave a building half constructed, essentially. We need to have a check here to ensure that these wargs are not already inside of a different barn. Because otherwise, if we have multiple barns, then wargs will just get teleported around them. Which would be an interesting experience, I'm sure, but, But okay, that gets us list of wayward wargs. But we also need to check for the room. Let's check command settlement. Is there a room here command? I don't recall. There is not. Okay. Let's see, settlement at the inputs coordinates. And if settlement does not equal null, have to enter away. Okay. Night history. We were wrapping up for now. But settlement dot get room at inputs position. Okay. If room does not equal null, and room dot has function and room dot get function equals enum room function dot barn, then return false. At that stage, we don't need to care. Okay, that should prevent wargs in barns from being teleported. Period. Now there is a fair bit of caution to be had here that we don't necessarily know if a given piece of our terrain is actually a good place to put a warg. I'm just going to put a to-do here because we have 10 minutes left in the stream and I want to get this working to some degree. So to-do, safe landing detection. Because right now we're just going to get the core of the room and plunk us there. Okay. So that should plunk them there. Okay. But that's they might be trying to move, so let's get their navigator and just clear it. Otherwise they'll just constantly be wandering in and out. Slightly even better improvement would be to have them be teleported to the closest boundary edge of the barn. That's also a safe place to stand. But again, we have 9 minutes now. I'm not going to try and make this more complex than I have to at this exact moment. Okay, let us observe. Evidently, slight problem. Yep, definitely problems. Okay. Let's... just... yep. That'll fix... I did mention we need a safe landing detection. I just didn't think it would be that immediate a problem. Is the core not like the lowest point? Is not in the middle? No, it is the minimum get Y. Okay, yeah, that'd be Y. Literally. It's on the bottom level of it, not in the middle like I thought it was. Whoops. Don't look at me, I haven't touched this code in an age. I haven't had to. Also, at least we have a Goblin Tamer that will actually, like, heal people. So hey, there's that. Okay. Heading for the thing. Only the ones that weren't in there already got teleported. Good! How many babies are there? Currently 3 by the looks of it. Possibly more about to happen. So possibly about to be 4. Probably need to put a limit on that. Like, have the goblin check, firstly, if they're standing inside of a barn, and how many wargs are in. Yep, just healing up. There we go. Okay. so much. Fort 1 was killed? Maybe... There's currently 3. So it's probably fine. Bearing in mind, wargs are very durable. They have more health than a player does. But okay, yeah. I should really have that be like a random chance that a given one gets moved. Little Snoot still there? Let's find out. I think Little Snoot grew up by this point. I think Little Snoot is actually a parent. Let's find out. Okay, so the actual structure, when it's constructed, will have more of an actual means to preventing wargs from just wandering out. Let's see, short snoot. No, no, no. You're a short snoot. Hello. Are you the short snoot that was here before? You might be. Oh, you're also a short snoot. Short Snoot might have been in the gladiator fights. Regrettably. But as we can see, there are many more short snoots to be had. And now that we've done that code, we don't have to touch it. Ever again. So yeah, there's probably a lot of the AI that we should only have active on the Goblin Tamer when they're inside of a barn, I think. We also probably want to actually assign them to the barns, because right now the barn just grabs anybody. But what we want to do later is actually like set the Goblin's home position or something to inside of the inside of the barn. In which case they'll just hang out there instead of leaving all of the time like that. Which would make it harder for there to be wolves there. I guess if they're always in there, then they're probably not going to venture out and encounter wolves. But I'm beginning to think that maybe we should just have like a couple of wargs spawn. Like when a barn is first created by a goblin, at least. Because that way there's always wargs to be found. And then people can get their wargs and whatnot. But okay, that works better, at least. Huh. So okay, we got pretty much the gamut of warg tamer interactions with wargs, which now means that goblin warg tamers will actually create wargs in the next version, so consequently, you'll be able to actually, like, find a goblin that is a warg tamer, and they will actually do the thing. So you can start breeding to getting your wargs going, and also getting your nice show puppers going as well. And next week, we might change gears a little bit and do some work on various equipment. But otherwise, we'll have some more various oddities. And my next stream, as I say, depending on my spoons and whatnot, should be tomorrow at 9 PM BST, which I believe is 4 PM EST. I'm not 100% on that. And we'll be playing some more on the Cumblock Home server. After that, on Thursday, we should have some more Airship in Among Us at the same time. And we might have a bonus stream on Friday again, depending on how my spoons are tomorrow. And we'll definitely have some Carousel on Saturday at the same time. And we're back for more of this next week. Meanwhile, keep an eye on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/RumorComic for videos. And everything I do is powered by you, including my medication this month, over at patreon.com/lying. That's all I got for tonight. So that's all my throat is going to let me say tonight. Hope you've all enjoyed. Catch you next time.